Okay, good afternoon, Facebook Live. This is Alexis Carpello with Eyewitness News. We're currently at Auburn High School, where you could see this heavy police presence and emergency officials here in the parking lot of the high school. We reached out to school officials to see what they know about this incident. They say they're looking into it, but if you're going to just take a little bit closer look here at the scene, you can see that officers have laid out case markings on the ground there. We haven't had any official word of what had happened, but we did, when we got on scene, see an ambulance drive away with their lights on, and now I've just seen another ambulance arriving here to the scene. It's a pretty heavy police presence here at the high school. Again, we haven't had any official word of what is going on. We're going to stay here to continue to find out what has happened here, but again, this is what the scene looks like. Again, this is in the parking lot of the Auburn High School near the football stadium and the gymnasium. Again, we did see one ambulance leave with their lights on. Another ambulance just arrived. We have nothing confirmed at this moment. School said they're looking into it, and we're waiting for a police update. Again, this is in the Auburn High School parking lot, and you can see right there, police are still looking at this one specific area where they've put out evidence markers on the ground here. I see one car that looks to be a part of this scene. It's hard to tell right at this moment, as it's very, very early on in the investigation here at Auburn High School. The crime scene tape is just circled off in the parking lot. It's not anywhere near the high school, but yeah, again, it is in the parking lot, kind of near the gymnasium and the football field. And one ambulance, when we got here to go through the information again that we've seen as our crew has been here on scene, one ambulance did drive away with their lights on. Another one just recently showed up here. There's at least, I'm going to count how many, at least 10 police cars here, including Rockford Fire. We don't have an official update. Again, we're waiting for school. They said they're looking into this. Make sure to stay with us. We're going to stay live here and try to find out as much information as we can, and we'll update you as quick as possible, and as this is an evolving scene here. Again, you can see police are laying out evidence markers in this area of the parking lot at Auburn High School. The crime scene tape just is in this area, general area that you're looking. It just circles the parking lot area. For anyone just joining us, we're at Auburn High School right now, where police are investigating. We haven't been able to confirm anything with officials, but from what we have seen here, we've seen police laying out evidence markers in the parking lot of Auburn High School, near the gymnasium, kind of near the football field. There is a very heavy police presence here right now, and as you could see, as we zoom in a little bit, that those evidence markers are set in this area. We're waiting to hear more from school officials. They told us they're looking into it, as well as police. We haven't gotten an update from them, but we will continue to update you. And again, as we got here on scene, we did see an ambulance drive away with their lights on, but we are unaware if anyone is injured at this moment. And then we also did see another ambulance that is on scene right now drive up here with their lights and sirens on. So make sure you stick with us. We're going to continue to stay live here, and I'll periodically update you guys with information that we find out. But right now, for a little recap of what we know so far and what we can see really is this area of Auburn High School's parking lot is taped off with crime scene tape. There are evidence markers on the ground where police are standing right now, and there is a very, very heavy police presence here, as well as when we first arrived about 10 minutes ago, we did see an ambulance drive off with their lights on. Another ambulance came with their lights and sirens on, but we have nothing confirmed at this moment. This is just what we've been observing right here in the Auburn High School parking lot. And make sure you stick with us, because we're going to keep on providing you guys up-to-date updates on what's going on here, and as soon as we know, we will update everyone. Okay, for anyone joining again, I'm just going to give a brief update of what I've continued to say earlier. Again, we don't have anything confirmed. I just want to make that known right at this moment, but we do have leads out right now to see what's going on here at Auburn High School, in Auburn High School's parking lot. You could see on the ground, police have put down evidence markers and taped off a portion of the parking lot that's near the gymnasium and football field area. When we arrived on scene, there is many police cars in the parking lot right now, as you could see from the video. There also is fire and ambulance. When we arrived, one ambulance was leaving this scene here with their lights and sirens on. Another one did show up a few minutes later and is currently just still here sitting in the parking lot. This is an active scene right now, active investigation that police are working on, so we haven't been updated with any official word from them, and the school said they're looking into it. But just wanted to give you guys a look at what's going on here at the Auburn High School, in the parking lot of the Auburn High School. This is the second ambulance that we're seeing drive away with their lights and sirens on here from the Auburn High School parking lot. Again, we have no official word on what has happened here. We're still waiting to get an update from school officials and police. Rockford police appear to be the only officers on scene right now. Again, now since we've gotten here, we've seen two ambulances leave with their lights and sirens on. We can see that there are evidence markers on the ground of the parking lot in Auburn High School. We don't know exactly what had happened yet, but we have reached out to officials to learn more. Again, just make sure you stay with us, because we're going to keep you guys up to date on this, and we're going to stay live here until we find out more information. So just stay with us, and we'll continue to update you as fast as we can. Okay, Rockford police did just tweet that this is a shooting investigation here at the Auburn High School. Nearby schools are currently on lockdown as a precaution during their investigation. They're asking people to avoid the area, and they're going to have more details to follow. Again, this is the first official word that we've gotten from police that this is a shooting investigation in Auburn High School's parking lot. The nearby schools are on lockdown right now. They're asking everyone to avoid the area, and again, as as we've been on here for a while now, we see evidence markers are on the ground of the parking lot, and as police said, this is a shooting investigation in the Auburn High School parking lot. We are not sure of any injuries, but from what we have seen, we've seen 2 ambulances leave with their lights and sirens on from this investigation. Again, I'm going to read you guys what police have tweeted out about this investigation. They're saying it's a shooting investigation outside of Auburn High School. Again, from what we've seen, it is just in this parking lot that they have the crime scene tape up. Shooting investigation outside of Auburn High School. The schools are on lockdown. They're asking everyone to avoid the area as they continue to investigate. Again, so this is a shooting investigation here in the parking lot of Auburn High School, right near the gymnasium, near the high school football field. A pretty broad area of the parking lot is taped off with crime scene tape. We see at least, I'm going to count, I would say there's at least 6 evidence markers out right now on the ground in the Auburn High School parking lot. We do not know of any injuries at this moment right now, but we did see 2 ambulances leave this scene here at Auburn High School with their lights and sirens on, driving away. We're going to continue to update you guys on this active investigation here right now. Again, schools are on lockdown. Nearby schools are on a lockdown right now as police continue to investigate this shooting. Police have confirmed with us that this is a shooting investigation here at Auburn High School in the parking lot near the gymnasium and football field. And again, we've told you this already. We have seen 2 ambulances drive away with their lights and sirens on. We do not know the severity of any injuries, if there are any injuries in the first place, but that is what we've seen. Again, this is what we're looking at right now. There are evidence markers in this area of the parking lot of Auburn High School. Police did say that it is a shooting investigation. They have the following schools on lockdown, and they ask everyone to avoid the area as they continue this investigation. We're going to take you guys a little bit closer to this scene right now just to see how many evidence markers, so just bear with us as we move just a little bit closer to the scene. Again, for anyone just joining us, we're at Auburn High School where police are investigating a shooting here in the parking lot. This is, as soon as we get our camera down, this is what you'll be looking at. We're just getting a little bit closer so we could see what's going on. Police have confirmed that there is a shooting investigation happening right now that you guys are looking at. This is in the parking lot of Auburn High School. Heavy police presence here. When we first arrived, there was an ambulance on scene. They drove away with their lights and sirens on. We've seen at least 2 ambulances drive away with their lights and sirens on coming from this parking lot. Police did say that nearby schools are on a lockdown right now. They're asking everyone to avoid the area as they continue this investigation. That's the only update we've gotten right now from this. Just to update everyone who may be joining us right now, Rockford police are investigating a shooting outside of Auburn High School. The nearby schools are on lockdown as a precaution during this investigation. They're asking the public to avoid the area as they continue to investigate. They say more details should follow soon. And again, this is the scene that you are looking at right now is Auburn High School. We see evidence markers here in the parking lot. This area is near the gymnasium and the football field of Auburn High School. We did get an update from the school saying that Auburn, Kennedy Middle School, McIntosh Elementary School, and Wilson Aspire are on lockdown as a precaution during this investigation. Students and staff right now are unable to enter or exit any of these schools' buildings. So if you do have a student in those buildings right now, they cannot leave. No one can enter or leave those buildings as they are on a lockdown for this shooting investigation that's happening right here in the Auburn High School parking lot. Again, I'm going to repeat myself, from what we've seen so far, we don't have any official word on if there could be any injuries, but we saw 2 ambulances drive away with their lights and sirens on. We've been here really early on in the investigation, and that's what we were able to see. And again, now you could see police are looking at the evidence markers here in the parking lot of Auburn High School. Again, for anyone who's just joining us, we're going to zoom in here so you could see they are looking at the evidence markers here at the Auburn High School parking lot, where police have confirmed there was a shooting. They're investigating a shooting right here in the parking lot that's near the gymnasium and football field. The crime scene tape is just in the parking lot of this area. Again, when we arrived on scene, I was explaining earlier, we saw 2 ambulances drive away with their lights and sirens on. There still is a very heavy police presence. And because of this investigation, the following schools, I'll read you guys which schools, nearby schools, are currently in a lockdown as a precaution. So that is Auburn High School, Kennedy Middle School, McIntosh Elementary School, and Wilson Aspire. These all are on lockdown right now as police continue to investigate this shooting. We're looking for more, waiting to hear more of an update too, but again, what we have confirmed right now is that there is a shooting investigation outside of Auburn High School. The nearby schools are on the lockdown as they continue to investigate, and they're asking the public to avoid the area. We'll continue to update you, but here again is a look at the scene. There's a heavy police presence, so if you do have a student or staff member or staff members that you know in any of these schools, no one is allowed to enter or exit the buildings. Again, for anyone watching, we have confirmed by police that this is a shooting investigation outside of Auburn High School. The nearby schools in the area are on a lockdown because of this investigation. We've been here very early on scene, and we did see 2 ambulances drive away with their lights and sirens from this scene right now. Again, this is happening in the Auburn High School parking lot in Rockford, where near the the gymnasium, near the football field, police have a pretty broad area of the parking lot taped off right now with crime scene tape. We do know it is a shooting investigation that is currently happening right now. Nearby schools are on a lockdown as police continue to investigate this, and like I've mentioned before, we're still working to find out more information, but what we do know is that it is a shooting investigation. You could see police are here following through with that investigation in the parking lot of Auburn High School. We don't know if there are any injuries, but we did see, because we've been here very early at this scene, that 2 ambulances did drive away with their lights and sirens on. Anyone that's just joining us, I'm going to give you guys an update of what we know so far. Details are limited at this moment, but from what we've seen and what we've been able to get confirmed by police, this is a shooting investigation outside of Auburn High School in the parking lot that you're looking at right here. We're going to zoom out just so you could see a little bit more of the scene right now as they investigate. We have been here very early, and there is still a very heavy police presence here in the Auburn High School parking lot near the gymnasium and near the football field. 2 ambulances our crew saw drive away with their lights and sirens on away from Auburn High School. Police say this is a shooting investigation in the parking lot. They're asking the public to avoid this area as they continue to investigate. Schools are on a lockdown right now, so no one can enter or leave the facilities. I will list off which schools are on a lockdown because there are a few nearby ones that we were able to get confirmed. So Auburn High School, Kennedy Middle School, McIntosh Elementary School, and Wilson Aspire are all on lockdown as a precaution during this investigation. Again, right now, this is what we're looking at, is this heavy police presence and the crime scene blocking off a portion of the Auburn High School's parking lot for a shooting investigation. We're going to give you a little look of the other side of the scene. This is the whole scene where the crime scene tape is up in the parking lot of Auburn High School as police investigate a shooting that happened here. Right now, all that we have confirmed from officials is that there is a shooting investigation outside of Auburn High School in the parking lot right here. Schools and nearby schools are on a lockdown as a precaution for this investigation. Now, we've been here pretty early on in this shooting investigation that we did see 2 ambulances drive away with lights and sirens on, but we haven't been able to get confirmed if anyone was injured or hurt from this scene. But again, this is the scene that you're lking at the Auburn High School, in the Auburn High School parking lot. still a very, very heavy police presence here. And I'm only seeing Rockford police at this moment on scene here. Evidence markers are on the ground. Police are continuing their investigation. As you can see, it's near the gymnasium and the football field. Again, we were able to confirm that this is a shooting investigation. Schools are on lockdown, so if you know anyone inside of the Auburn High School, Kennedy Middle School, McIntosh Elementary, and Wilson Aspire, those schools are on lockdown as a precaution, so no one is able to enter or leave those facilities right at this moment. For anyone that is just tuning in, we're right outside of Auburn High School where Rockford police are investigating a shooting.
Yeah, I'm just going to be pulling out right here.
Okay.
I don't want them to squad right here. Thank you.
Of course. Here, just move that way just a little. That should be good. Okay, anyone that is just joining us right now, we are currently on scene at Auburn High School where police are investigating a shooting outside of the high school in the parking lot right here that you're looking at. Evidence markers are on the ground. There's a very heavy police presence here as a wide area of the parking lot is taped off with crime scene tape. Again, we did get confirmed that this is a shooting. We are unaware of any injuries at this moment, but we've been here since very early on in this investigation, and we were able to see 2 ambulances take their lights and sirens and drive away from this scene here at Auburn High School. Nearby schools are on a lockdown as part of this investigation, and we're seeing officers kind of pay attention to this one car that we'll zoom into here in just a moment. They look like they're looking at this car. Again, we don't have any update other than this is a shooting investigation. There's this tan looking car and as well as a blue car that police are paying attention to in the parking lot of Auburn High School. Rockford police still are the only officers that I see on scene right now here at Auburn High School. This portion of the parking lot is blocked off. That's near the gymnasium and football field. Again, we have limited details right now, but I'm going to go over again what we know is that there is a shooting investigation. Rockford police are here right now investigating this shooting. Evidence markers are on the ground, and nearby schools are on a lockdown. I will read off those schools again. That is Auburn High School, Kennedy Middle School, McIntosh Elementary School, and Wilson Aspire. Those schools are on a lockdown as a precaution to this investigation right now. And as I mentioned before to you, I know we just have limited details right now. We're working to find out more. We did see 2 ambulances drive away with their lights and sirens on. Now, if you do have anyone in those schools that I did mention earlier, they're on a lockdown, so no one will be able to enter or leave those schools right now. As this investigation continues, we'll work to let you know when anything changes, to find out that information as soon as possible. But that is what we know right now at this moment. zoom in, just like different shots. For anyone that's joining us now, it looks like we're going to be updated by Rockford Police Chief, so just bear with us as we move over. She's going to give us an update on this investigation.
Yeah, so you're cold today? How are you? Yeah, good. How are you doing? Good, good. Yeah, good to see you. We'll get everything going here.
Get a little higher, I think, if you can. I'm just gonna, let me look at it for a second. Okay, yeah, that should be good.
What you need? Oh, okay. Give me 1 second. Y'all still setting up. Go ahead. Oh, the battery's going everywhere. Let me grab the batteries.
Yep, and then if you want to man it while I lean out to ask your questions, that'll be great. It's pretty windy.
Do you hear her?
I'm getting it now.
You're good. So she had said this will be on.
For those just joining us, we are just waiting for the Rockford Police Chief to join us to give an update on this shooting investigation here in the parking lot of Auburn High School. Like I said earlier, from this investigation, you can see evidence markers are on the scene right now. We're just waiting for the chief to come over and give us an update on this shooting investigation here outside of Auburn High School. So just bear with us. She's coming over in just a moment to, again, give an update.
Do I need to step closer?
Yeah, just a little.
Just a little. In unison.
Is she good? Do you need me?
Yeah, I think you know just a little bit. Hold on.
Yep, right there. Great.
Right up. You ready?
Yeah. Look at her.
Okay, so we got a call today at about 10 minutes after 1 in regards to shots fired outside of Auburn High School. Officers responded to the area. We did have a school resource officer inside as well. Officers arrived and did locate 2 shooting victims inside of a vehicle. So at this point, both vehicles were transported to local hospitals. One has serious injuries and the other one is described as non-life-threatening.
Were those students?
We believe they are students. Both victims are 17 years old.
And they were in 2 separate cars.
No, they were in the same vehicle.
Both males, male and female?
A male and a female.
Okay. Is there a suspect in custody at this time?
So we did receive a description of a suspect vehicle as well, and officers located that vehicle as well as 3 individuals that fled from the vehicle. So we do have persons of interest in custody right now.
So it's about 4 people that you guys are looking for related to this shooting?
Right now we have 3 individuals in custody.
Okay.
Okay.
And how long do you think this investigation is going to
Well,
last here?
we don't put a time limit on our investigations. Actually, the school just went off a lockdown here. My guys will finish up the work that they have to do here, and then we'll release the scene here.
And what can you say to residents about this obviously happening at a Rockford High School?
You know, the gun violence has got to stop. It's ridiculous. I don't believe that this was our shooters. I believe know exactly who they were going after. So once again, not the random gunfire, but intentional targets that they are going after. So we've been working with the school district and having some of our our community partners that have been out with us at some of the schools as well prior to Christmas, and even coming back from the holiday season, that volunteers have been out at some of the schools.
And which victim is seriously injured, the male or female?
It's the male.
And what should parents know during this time? The Auburn High School just got out of lockdown. What should parents know now?
Well, everyone else inside the school is safe. No other reports of any other injuries or shots fired. I'm not sure of the circumstances surrounding the students, or believed to be students, that were sitting out in the parking lot. But, get involved, find out what your kids are doing, if they're involved in anything that they shouldn't be involved in. If you've got questions, by all means, reach out to us. I get it all the time where parents are looking for those positive role models to be in their kids' lives. So, and I know that's needed. That's why we've been working with our area partners to get out in the schools.
And we have multiple evidence markers out here as well. And so can you talk a little bit about maybe the multiple rounds of fire that are happening? Or
So I haven't counted the rounds that were fired, but I know there were multiple rounds fired.
Do you know if the school video possibly reaches this parking lot at all?
So we believe there is surveillance of the parking lot as well.
are classes ending for the day?
I'm not sure what time school's out, but we did take the school off a lockdown. So,
And you mentioned that these are believed to be students, but you just can't confirm that.
no, I can't confirm that at this time.
So can you also go over, you mentioned that there are 3 people in custody. Can you take me through that? It's believed that those people fled the scene after all this happened, or?
Well, we were given a description of a possible suspect vehicle by which our officers located that vehicle, and 3 individuals fled from that car. And so we do have those 3 individuals in custody.
When could we expect information on those individuals?
It's just a matter of my guys working and seeing what develops from there. Okay.
We don't have confirmation on if those 3 suspects are students or involved in the
No, we do not have that information at this time.
Can you give us the ages of the people?
I don't have that. Literally, we're talking about the last 30 minutes or so that they got them in custody, so I don't have that. Okay. All right.
Thanks, Chief.
You're welcome.
Thank you,
guys
Chief.
have a good day.
Now let's go over there. All right, thanks for sticking with us here, guys, as we're still here at this shooting investigation at Auburn High School. This is the scene that you're seeing. We just got an update from the chief that I'm going to give you a recap on right now. It happened around 1:10 that shots were fired outside of high school. That's when police got the call. 2 shooting victims were inside a vehicle. One has serious injuries, a male and a female. The male has serious injuries. Female has non-life-threatening injuries. 17-year-olds, they're possibly the students. That wasn't confirmed. The injuries, the victims are possibly students here at Auburn High School. The chief couldn't confirm that yet. Police did have a description of the suspect vehicle. They ended up finding that car. 3 people ran, and now 3 persons of interest are in custody right now. We don't have information on those people, the people of interest in custody. Again, the chief, when I asked her what does she have to say to this, to the community about all of this gun violence happening specifically here at a high school in Rockford, she said that gun violence has got to stop. They knew who they were going after, so they're working with the school district. She did say multiple shots were fired, and multiple rounds of shots were fired, and you can see that here from the evidence markers. She did say that the gun violence has got to stop. Chief Red with the Rockford Police Department said the gun violence does have to stop, and they're working with the community to have positive role models in the community to make things like this not happen. But again, for a recap, we're at the Auburn High School where police are investigating a shooting. 2 people were hit. 1 has serious injuries. That's a male. The other, a female, has non-life-threatening injuries. They were inside the car at the time of the shooting. When we got on scene, we did see those ambulances drive away with their lights and sirens on. Police haven't confirmed with us if those are students or not. We will work to hopefully find out that information. Right now, we do know that there are 3 persons of interest in custody at this moment. No further details on them. Rockford Police Chief Carla Red did say that multiple rounds were fired. So again, this is at Auburn High School. This is the shooting investigation happening.